Hello and welcome to episode 47 of Mo Money, the investing economic show for millennials by a millennial, where our goal is to educate, entertain, and empower a new generation of investors. I am, of course, the host, the editor, director, plus I'm my own boss, MC Mo. Let's get this show on the road. This week we are going to discuss the theory of free markets. Now, we've all heard of free market economics or laissez-faire economics, the economic theory created by Adam Smith in the 18th century. Adam Smith has become sort of a god for Republicans and businessmen, the way Karl Marx is for communists, Hillary Clinton is for New Age liberals, or Kanye West is for me. His writing, An Inquiry in Nature and Causes of the Wealth of Nations, was his magnus opus, which has become sort of like a Bible for economists and capitalists. Most of them have probably never read it and only have a few sentences and theories memorized that they like to throw out at people when they stand up against the free markets, which would make it exactly like the Bible and Christians. Hashtag burn. The summary of the book is that the free markets are able to regulate themselves and that prosperity occurs in abundance when they are left alone to do as they will. The book introduced a theory called the invisible hand, a belief that there is an invisible force within the markets that pushes resources to where they will be used the most efficiently. Using the theory of the invisible hand states that markets are able to operate efficiently because of the price mechanisms, which ensures that proper price is paid for resources, including labor, goods, etc. If goods become too plentiful, their prices will go down. If a demand for a good goes up, the price will go up all by itself to reflect the demand, which will prevent scarcity. This theory is in direct contrast to those who champion government interventionism. The hand of government in markets is far from invisible and can be detrimental to markets because it destroys the market's ability to price things appropriately and produce things efficiently. Take, for instance, Obamacare, which is an example of government interventionism in the healthcare market. The government demanded by law that insurance companies provide coverage for all Americans at a fair price, regardless of their age, pre-existing conditions, or anything else. Now, although well-intentioned, insurance companies have been fleeing Obamacare exchanges because of the increase in demand and subsequent spending on new and sicker patients have been costing them money. One could also look at a bit more extreme example like Venezuela, whose government has been responsible for planning the economy, which caused a shortage in things like food. Mitt Romney once said the invisible hand of the market always moves faster and better than the heavy hand of the government, which is true, thus proving that a broken clock is right at least twice a day. So how do free markets work and why are they preferable to a market that is controlled by the government? Free markets are preferable because they are all about one thing: freedom, which is an ideal of pretty much every country in the world except for like North Korea, China, Saudi Arabia, and who wants to be like any of them anyways. Free markets are based on the voluntary exchange of all participants and protection of private property. Private property being your physical land, your goods, your services, or your labor. Here's an example. Business A agrees to buy goods from Business B. Business A uses those goods to produce a product that makes them money. Business B also gets money. It is a voluntary exchange and both of them benefit from this exchange. There is absolutely no reason for one participant to engage in an exchange with anyone else unless they feel they will directly benefit from it, and vice versa. Example, I'm looking to buy a new pair of shoes. I walk into store A. The guy presents me with a pair of shoes for $50. I look at them and I realize, hey, these things are made out of paper. I know they're going to be ruined within a few hours of buying them. I would not benefit at all from giving store A $50 for paper shoes, but I have the option of leaving the store. There's nobody forcing me to buy these crappy paper shoes. I could walk to a plethora of other locations and purchase shoes voluntarily that are worth $50. And when that exchange occurs, both I and the store owner have benefited. Another reason that free markets are preferable is the freedom to work. The greatest benefit of working in a free market economy is the freedom to work and do as you please, as long as the free market deems your labor worthy. In a free market, you can work for whoever, you can work wherever, you can work as many hours as you like, and you can make as much money as you like, as long as there's somebody who's willing to pay you for your labor and agree to pay the price of which you have demanded. If you're a person who flips burgers, then you will not be able to make millions of dollars unless you create a burger that people are willing to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to eat. But if you are a musician, then you can make millions of dollars if you can find thousands and thousands of people who are willing to come see you play or buy your music. Or you could just be a lame rapper on SoundCloud with no listens who lives in his parents' basement. That's the free market economy telling you that you suck and you should go look for another job, or that you need to work harder. The driving force in all free markets is one's own self-interest. And within those free markets, participants are able to pursue their self-interest without interference. If one wishes to make $1 million, then one is free to do so, but they must create a way to provide other participants with something that will make them want to give the person that money. Microsoft did not become the biggest company and make Bill Gates the richest man in the world because the government made it so. It happened because he provided the markets with something they deemed valuable and something that they were willing to exchange money for. People who work drilling for oil don't do so because they love drilling for oil. They do so because usually those jobs pay a lot of money. Oil companies said, if you come and work for me and give me 10 hours of your day, in exchange I will give you $80,000 a year. That is an example of voluntary exchange. The company decided the labor was beneficial to them, and the workers decided the loss of hours was worth the money in exchange. Both benefit. Companies are willing to spend money on workers because they can sell what their workers produce. Workers can use the money that they were paid to buy things that they want, whether it be houses, cars, clothes, whatever. Now, the pursuit of self-interest is directly related with the invisible hand. People pursuing their own self-interest for profit must do so in the most efficient way to create the maximum amount of profit. If Nike's producing 2 pairs of shoes, Jordans and LeVar Ball, what are big baller brands, they cannot tell people what to buy. They can only react to what people buy. And once they see what people are buying, they will redirect their resources to making more pairs of that shoe. That is how the invisible hand works. The invisible hand is merely a reflection of taste. The invisible hand is merely an indicator of what people want. And if businesses let the invisible hand guide them, then they will make money. The invisible hand is not just an economic force. It exists in all markets, like the market of intellectualism. Gay marriage did not become accepted because the government told people to accept it. People said, we like this idea. Anyone who was against it was ostracized, and the invisible hand pushed it into becoming an accepted idea, and eventually it became a law. Recently, opponents of free market economics have pointed to the financial crisis as the dangers of free market economics. But they are only half right. Yes, free market economics allowed banks to prey upon homebuyers. It allowed them to trade dangerous financial instruments and make egregious profits in the process. Then things went bad. People weren't able to pay their mortgages, and the banks lost money. A lot of money. Here's where they're wrong. In free market economics, the banks fail, people lose their money, bankers and executives are jailed for their crimes, and new banks arise in their place who hopefully have learned a valuable lesson in hubris and stupidity from their predecessors. What happened was government interventionism. The government and Federal Reserve pumped the banks full of money to prop them up to keep the financial system from collapsing and people losing their money. Spare the rod and spoil the child, and we have many spoiled bankers now who have not learned their lesson and are even richer than before. Now, one could argue that this was necessary to keep the financial system from collapsing, but one cannot argue that this was free market economics or capitalism. Capitalism without bankruptcy is like Christianity without hell. There needs to be punishment in economics, because punishment is the invisible hand slapping you in the face and saying, that's what you get, you stupid moron. Bottom line, in the words of Ron Swanson, the free market is a jungle. It's beautiful, it's brutal, and should be left alone. When a business fails, it dies, and a new, better one takes its place. Just let business be business and let government be government. Free markets are the best system for society because it allows citizens to be free. One cannot harm another in free markets because one would never agree to be harmed voluntarily. Unless you're into that sort of thing. And if you are, that is your free choice to do so. You can find someone to do it. And if someone harms you in an exchange, whether it be fraud, lack of payment, unsatisfactory product or service, anything else, then there are courts of laws to punish them. And if those people harm enough people, then they will quickly be out of business. No need for government to do so. The free market took care of them already, government. You're a bit slow. With everyone acting in their own self-interest within the market and engaging in voluntary exchanges of which all parties benefit, and everybody will see their wealth increase. Completely free market economics is not a zero-sum game. If one person makes money, it is because another person benefited in another way. Sure, there will be losers along the way, but the losses will be due to their poor choices, not anyone else's. This type of thinking may seem cruel and inhumane, but when left alone, free markets have a way of producing the most good for the most amount of people. Free markets are the best at distributing wealth, at protecting people, and ensuring prosperity for all. To paraphrase economist Milton Friedman, the great virtue of a free market system is that it does not care what color people are, it does not care what their religion is, it only cares whether you have something that people want to buy, be it a good, service, labor, or land. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Mo Money. You can find new and classic episodes right here on YouTube. For now, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Like me on Facebook. Check out themomoneyshow.com.
Mo Money, signing now.
Nah, I can hear what you say. I ain't finna do shit. It ain't about money. Bitch, you can miss